Hey friends, thanks for joining me. This is a handheld portable router and we are going to use it safely on this cutting board. All right, so the handheld router or the portable router, this one is a battery powered one, but most of the ones I've always used have a cord. They're a corded router, but this one is not. So it is essentially a motor with a base. It's just spinning this around. We looked at the table router, the router table, where this would bolt up on the underside of a table and you'd take things across it. This one is opposite. The bit is below the motor. We have an on switch. This one has a nice little light that we can see what we're doing. We have a speed here, and most routers have where you can dial up the speed depending on what you're cutting. And a lot of routers, they will have some sort of guide. This thing you can turn, you can make it farther out depending on where you want that in the middle here. I am going to router in a groove in this cutting board, and I want it a little bit away from the edge of the board, but not real far away. It's more of like it's gonna be a juice groove. So I don't want it really far out in the center. I want it near the edge, but not right on the very edge either. So I'm going to set this up. You have different depths. Your depth is right here. You can adjust that. You have small little increments you can adjust it, or you can move it. A lot of times you can undo this lock. This allows you to move it. You can kind of see a little bit as I turn this. It goes up and it has a depth right here. It shows me how deep this usually is inset. So I can use that as a gauge to where I can set my router. I can go down and now I see where I'm at, and so I can go down a certain amount. If I want to go down a 1/4 inch or maybe a 1/2 inch or whatever, I can go. I'm gonna make this from the 1/4, I'm gonna put it to the 3/4, and so I can go a 1/2 inch in my depth. So I'm gonna rotate that. I could go and push this button. This button right here gets me big adjustments, but I don't want that. I don't need it. I'm gonna adjust it to the 3/4, and I'm looking about a 1/2 inch depth or so there, maybe a little bit deeper. I'm gonna look at that on the edge of this. How far down does this go? Is it less than half? I don't want it going halfway through here. I want it less than that. That looks pretty good. I like the looks of that, so I'm gonna lock it in place. And now, I don't want to come from the outside in. So what I will do is I'll start it and rotate it down into the lumber and then go. I need to pay attention to the rotation of this blade. Well, watch this blade rotate here. I turn it on. So the blade rotates like this. So I want to go opposite that. I want my travel direction to be opposite that. I don't want it operating like this and then go this way to where it's, or go this way to where it would be trying to pull itself. I'm gonna move this way against the direction. And so on this one, it's not that big a deal because I'm inside the wood, but on my edge, it's a lot bigger deal. So we will protect ourselves with our safety glasses. I'll also use my earmuffs. I have this right where I want it, and then I'm going to rotate it down in there and then go, and I'm gonna stop before I'm at the edge because I don't want that groove going all the way onto to the very edge. I don't want that juice from when stuff's being cut on here to go down and leak down the side. I want it to stay in here. So I'm going to rotate it down, go, and lift it up. And then I'll do my angles, my radius, and then try to match those two up. So let's try her out. Okay, so you saw it kind of jumping around a little bit, made for not such a pretty of a router finish there. I need to go deeper, but my thing came loose too. I'm a little bit loose right here. So I'm gonna tighten that up. So I don't have the wobble. And this radius is hard to do. This is not an easy radius for me. So I'm gonna go down a little bit at a time and then go down a little bit more, and I'm gonna adjust my depth and work up to that 1/2 inch. All right, so not perfect around there. Didn't come out as good as what I had hoped for, but it's pretty decent. I will always do a lot of sanding after I do a routering operation, because many times the router will move a little bit. Sometimes it'll make a little burn to where you went too slow. So I always do a lot of sanding after a routering operation. But that is the handheld router, the portable router. This is a pretty good little Milwaukee one. We haven't had it for very long, but it's done a good job in the time that we've had it. So I would highly recommend that you work hard, because hard work is its own reward. And thanks for watching.